Rich Hoffman here. So I don't like the NFL product as much as I used to. I do enjoy going down. I live in Cincinnati, so I like going down to a Cincinnati Bengals game. I like the club experience. I think it's a good way to go watch a game. I think Paul Brown Stadium is a pretty good place. It's fun. It's always interesting to go see an NFL game, but I enjoy the product, but not nearly as much as I used to. I tend to think these days that the whole product has a tendency to be rigged, and I think a lot of ways because of betting odds and the amount of financial incentives there are out there. I think you got a lot of, not everybody in every case, and I think it's sometimes the house always wins. It's like a gambling casino. But the refs tend to lean on where the ultimate destination needs to be. And ultimately, who ends up in the Super Bowl can largely be shaped by, do you call a holding penalty on this one team to break their momentum on a critical drive in the fourth quarter just so you can keep the team you want to win in the lead? I think it happens a lot more than we'd like to admit. It's almost big-time wrestling as far as I'm concerned. But it's entertaining. If people like the entertainment, great. That's awesome. And enjoy it. Have at it. But I live in Ohio, and both the major sports teams, football teams, have problems. The Cleveland Browns are wanting to move from their wonderful waterfront that they have, where the Dog Pound is. It's a very nice stadium right next to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Downtown Cleveland's really nice, really right on Lake Erie, and then you have the Dog Pound right out on the lakefront. So what a wonderful place to go see a game in December with the pouring snow and right there by the lake. It's really cool, really neat. In the September months, it's very warm and the boats are all out there, and it's a pretty good thing. It really brings a lot of nice, lively waterfront activity to Cleveland. And they want to move out the suburbs, and everybody wants a better stadium. They want these domes and all this stuff, just like all these other stadiums that are like the one they have in LA now. Everybody, all the sports teams want to rehash their deals and get better stadiums. Now, one of my favorite stadiums in the entire world is Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. I love the Buccaneers, and I've been there several times, and I think it's wonderful, a wonderful stadium. It wasn't real crazy when they first started doing it, that all the taxpayer money, just like the Paul Brown Stadium situation. I don't like seeing taxpayers funding a private business. I think it's a dumb idea. And of course the argument is, well, sports teams bring a lot of revenue to your city, so you should support the NFL product. I think that's not a good idea, and this Bengals case is certainly one of those cases. The case in Cleveland, where they're wanting to keep them downtown because it brings vibrancy to downtown instead of taking the stadium out to the suburbs. This is the way that you use taxpayer money to fund private businesses. I think it's a bad deal, and I don't think the NFL product's worth that much. I think there's a lot of cities that succeed that don't have NFL teams, and when you get a team like the Bengals say, "Give it to me or else," and I want a better deal for myself, so make the taxpayers pay for it, pay for my private thing. I don't think it's great. I was not crazy about the way Raymond James Stadium was built in Tampa with taxpayer money, but the Glazier family did a nice job of incorporating what the public wanted to make a nice stadium that really does a lot of good stuff. And they have a lot of neat events there. They have college football there, and they have monster truck rallies and concerts. And it's Florida, so it's always nice. It's out in the open. It's pretty cool, pretty nice venue, and it stays busy all through the year. Whereas and they have the pirate ship in there, and it's really kind of a cool venue to go to. That's very Central Florida-ish. It's kind of a fun vacation destination to go to a Buccaneer game. But I go to a lot of Bengal games, and I enjoy the box experience. I enjoy the club area. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best way to go see a game. But as you go to one of these things, you're like, who's paying for all this stuff? And you find out the stadium's pretty much funded by taxpayers. The Bengals have a lease, and they sort of rent it, but it's only good they only do like 8 games there a year. Not enough to justify all the real estate that takes up right on the riverfront. So football really isn't enough for a publicly funded stadium. And the Bengals have been pretty stingy about how they, who else is allowed to be in that venue. I mean, there was a Taylor Swift concert there recently, and they do a couple things, but most of the time, the stadium, Paycor Stadium, stays empty. It's not being used for much of anything, which isn't good. So, with all that in mind, I do enjoy the Bengal experience, the football experience, the NFL, the whole thing around it. I like being in the club area and watching all the games on all the various televisions and watching what's going on in the field. And it's club experience is a good thing. It's great to go there on an October afternoon and watch a Bengal game. I think it's one of the nice things, but at what cost? So I'm only willing to pay a certain amount for that experience, and I think that the commissioners in Hamilton County, which is where Cincinnati's at, they need to get smart with money, because the Bengals, we're talking about the Bengals are disputing that because they're trying to get leverage to get a better deal, and they're talking about putting a $1 billion dome on top of the current stadium, which is absolutely insane. It's a crazy idea. And the open air aspect of it is good. I mean, how much do you really want to pour into these NFL teams? So the Bengals haven't been happy. They're trying to get a better deal. Their lease is up next year, so they're threatening to kind of leave, or if you don't make us happy, then we're going to take off. And Cincinnati has to have us. Well, you know what? There's only so many cities out there that can really kind of handle the demands of the NFL product. And the NFL product, they're getting very pretentious. When you look at the payroll that the Bengals are managing, and they're starting to complain that, the township is falling behind at $15 million in repairs that they have to put in this 25-year-old stadium. And we don't like it. We're not happy about it. Well, last time I looked, and every time I've gone to a game, I look around, all I see is Bengal stuff. Bingo, 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 bingo. It's not the Hamilton County. It's not Cincinnati so much. Benefits that happen. It's Cincinnati Bengals. It's for the for-profit industry of the NFL experience, and the Bengals are one of those teams. And they're the ones that benefit the most from all the taxpayer money that goes into all these stadiums. And the fact that they're complaining that the county has fallen behind in taking care of repairs, $15 million, $30 million, whatever it ends up being, that's really not much money. And when you think about and like I've said to people talk to me about it, the Bengals haven't really done anything in the playoffs. They haven't been to a Super Bowl in forever. They put, kind of a good team out there. I think with Joe Burrow and Chase and all these guys, they have a pretty good team that makes them exciting. But are you winning enough? Are you giving the city what they're looking for? And I would think there should be a clause that says the Bengals have to go to the playoffs a certain amount of time, every so many years, in order to maintain a lease agreement. And the new lease agreement should have a performance clause in it. Not just say, well, we're happy, even though the Bengals lose all the time, we're happy to have them, so we're going to throw infinite amounts of money at them. I don't think that's a smart idea at all. And if they want to go, let them go. Go get another team, or let somebody else deal with their pain in the neck. That's what happened in Cleveland. We all know about Art Modell and how he left and took the Cleveland Browns to Baltimore, and they became the Baltimore Ravens. And then Bernie Kosar, one of the old players, put together a group to bring another expansion team to Cleveland. They became the Cleveland Browns. And it's always this drama with these guys. To have a sports team that you can go watch a simple football game 8 times a year, and you're supposed to bend over backwards in every kind of way to accommodate them, when they have payrolls in the hundreds of millions of dollars. One playoff game would take care of, if the Bengals went to the playoffs, the revenue off of one playoff game would give them enough revenue to fix the stadium. So why are you going to the taxpayers for something that you directly benefit from? And those same people are dying for you to give them a product they can be proud of, but you never give them a winning season. You never give them a victory lap. You never do what you need to do. Everybody saw at the beginning of the season, yeah, you had a great offense. Yeah, Joe Burrow's a good quarterback, and you had some good players that you were able to retain to throw the ball around and score some points. But the defense wasn't very good. And everybody saw at the beginning of the season. So, if you had a commitment to winning and going to the playoffs, then why didn't you do it? And then why are you asking the public to go pay for something that you benefit from completely? I mean, it's not that the price of a ticket by itself is expensive, and now all taxpayers in Hamilton County are supposed to pay for this monstrosity. It's a ridiculous notion. And at least in Tampa Bay, they go to the playoffs a lot, and they won a couple Super Bowls. So taxpayers on the hook. They give them a pretty good stadium and pretty good experience for the visitors. Something to, and there's other things to do with that stadium throughout the year that makes it somewhat worth it. But the Bengals, there's a couple concerts maybe if they can, if the Bengals let them do it. They totally push around the commissioners and have a terrible relationship. I don't really root for the Bengals because I'm not really crazy about the Brown family. I think after Paul Brown died, I just don't think the rest of the family's worth investing in. I certainly don't care for Mike Brown at all. And so I've never really truly rooted for them, other than the fact that they're in our city. But as a business person, just keeps taking and not giving the public back much. In this case, give them a win. And they can't even do that. And for many years, occasionally you knock on the door, but they never quite get there. And then you're asking people to pay millions of dollars when all you had to do is to go to one playoff game, and you would have paid for enough to pay for all the repairs. And I think that the Bengals probably should write the check. Hey, I want this facility fixed up, and here's $15 million for it, not to try and extract it out of the county should be spending that money on other things, not the Cincinnati Bengals. Not for what they do and what they produce, and they should really be happy that they're in a city that takes care of them somewhat. But those repair costs should fall on the Bengals as an organization, as a for-profit business, and certainly not the taxpayers. So when we hear all these talks about moving stadiums, whether it's in Cleveland, whether it's in Cincinnati, and the drama behind it, they're not worth the drama. The NFL product is not worth what they cost. And demanding to have so much money thrown at them is absolutely ridiculous. All those millions of dollars should be going to other things that are much more beneficial to the county and to the city. The Bengals are an asset, but they're not all there is. And what they end up doing is they soak up all the resources, but it comes completely from the taxpayers, for a for-profit business, and then they just keep taking as they go because their product is expensive. And they have these payrolls that are hundreds of millions of dollars that they're on the hook for, and they're complaining about $15 million for some repairs of this current stadium. And they don't want to deal with it. They want a nice big dome stadium too, like they have in Los Angeles. Well, if you really want that, go win. Go win and generate some money and generate interest and bring in people who want to come here and who want to come, well, the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't coming here to watch their team, but you have Pittsburgh people coming here to watch the Bengals because they're fans, because they win all the time. That's how you get people to buy more shirts and more jerseys, more hot dogs, more beer. Give them a winning product, and then let the city generate more money, and then maybe you have a little money to go build a $1 billion roof on the current stadium, or tear it down and rebuild it somewhere else. There should be a clause that says you have to win in order to get more money. And that's part of the lease agreement. You have to win a certain amount, otherwise you're not getting any more. There needs to be an incentive package. So as everybody's renegotiating this deal, that's how you should be approaching it. And don't let the Bengals bend you over backwards, because they're greedy. They're nasty. And if they played with the same hand that they do against the county commissioners, they might win a few games if they went out and got good players and good coaches that could actually go generate wins at the level that they need to in order to be a top-tier franchise that justifies all that investment. But until they do that, and I would never say that the taxpayers should be on the hook for it, but there's ways to generate money, and going back to already a financially upside down system of taxpayer-funded enterprise is the NFL needs to get slapped back a lot. And if they want to move, Bengals or Cleveland or whoever, if they want to go to some other sucker city, let them go. But don't throw a bunch of money at a bunch of losers who just give you a losing product over and over again and just keep asking for more and tell you should be happy to have them. I don't think so. I think maybe we'd be lucky not to have them. And I think we should let them go. And that's me going to a few games a year, every year, and enjoying it. But I could easily do something else that's much more productive. Because there's a limit to how much value they truly have in a community. And as an entertainment product, especially when it's only 8 games a year, and who really cares? Especially when they lose every year. Anyways, Rich Hoffman here. Share, subscribe, make tomorrow a better day. If you haven't read my book, The Gunfighter's Guide to Business, I think you'll love it. Anyway, have a good day. See you later.